And we are back, Gmac and Winnie, coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
We're on our way. Yeah, I can't sing too well.
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home with a killer fucking backdrop.
Yeah, pretty awesome. If you're watching, I'll see if I can do this real quick.
Yep.
You got the huge Outlaw Blitz podcast thing there.
Ass, looking great.
It was a nice addition to come in to start season 4.
Beautiful, and things are good feedback off of week 1.
Yeah. I wish we had a stand to take this with us to
Wild Wings.
Yeah,
that would be cool. But
we could always travel with the other one.
We could, and things are really rounding into form.
Yeah,
for the Super Bowl, Super Bowl pregame party. So, looking forward to it. Got a bunch of giveaways in the works now, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a good fucking time. Can't wait.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff like kind of lined up, which is nice.
Right.
We always do a good job, but I mean, last year adding the kids stuff to it helped a lot.
It did.
A lot of kids came and had a good time.
Listen,
which allows families to have a good time.
We're setting the bar.
Yeah,
we set the first year. It was our first road show, and we did the day of the Super Bowl, and we had inclement weather.
Yep,
and we still had a good time.
We did.
Last year, pretty much tripled what we brought out the first year.
Yeah, it went from like 40 to like 100 and a half.
Right.
The bar area was full. The center was full. The whole side that we taped was full.
And now this year, I think we set the bar last year. It's going to be bigger and better. So.
Yeah. Which would be cool.
Hell yeah. That's what we do. So how was the week?
That's what we do.
It is what we do.
Good week. Good week.
Yeah. Nondescript.
Yeah. I mean, and then, the boy came for the weekend, which was nice. He hasn't been feeling good, so just doing that stuff, being a dad,
Yep, it was pretty status quo. It wasn't much of a exciting week. I did take off Friday to go get a lube job,
on your knees,
double lube. As Dr. Alfred pokes his head in, he's like one or two. I was like 2. Comes back.
So what is it, like a jellyfish kind of a material?
It's like it's cortisone. It's got some other stuff in it too, anti-inflammatories, steroids, and kind of like a gel. It's like like an off-white color and pretty good syringe full in both knees. So I'm walking out.
You sure you know what's in there?
Yeah, it's fucking whale semen, straight up whale semen. It's weird. After you get it, you can just feel a concentrated fucking
pressure.
Yeah. And
I've got an injection in my knee. It feels like they inflate a tennis ball inside your knee.
Right. So then picture that and then figure how the fuck do you limp? Because both knees are killing you at that point. I look like I was walking on eggshells with a load of shit in my pants going back out to my car. So until that shit disperses, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got home. I pretty much laid up early for the night. You're rolling away on us.
Sorry.
And feeling better today. And it's good from anywhere from like 6-8 weeks up to like 4 or 5 months, depending upon. I've had mixed results depending upon the time of the year, the weather, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we'll go
the cold, stiff. It probably sucks. Summertime probably looks a little better.
Yep.
One thing I should kind of talk about a little bit is the other night he wasn't feeling good. The night I picked him up Thursday, so I was like, all right. Came back. I made him dinner, and then we watched Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
We watched Breakfast Club, Weird Science, and Johnny Be Good right in a row.
Damn. Back to the 80s.
Oh, yeah. And, like, Breakfast Club he was kind of like, Dad, what's this movie about? And then at the end where they're all kind of sitting there talking about how, the state champion wrestler, his dad, and the kid that's the burnout, his dad, are both terrible to him.
Right.
And he didn't, I don't think he fully understood it because kids today don't have those distinct groups. Like when we were in school, and it was different. A burnout and a nerd and a band geek and you know what I mean? Like, and the popular girl and the girl that has no friends. And That's what makes that movie genius of the time, was everybody
Right.
was in there, and at that scene where they all kind of cry and they have their moments, everybody always wanted to be the other one until they realized they were really just a different version of them.
Of the same person, just
Right.
different sprout, different branch.
Yep.
What's fucked up is, and in society today, really, and why they can't relate. Now a kid gets attention. A parent and a lawyer calling the fucking high school saying you're picking on my kid.
Yeah.
Now, back in our day, you fucked up, you got detention, you did your 45 minutes in ninth period,
Right.
Then you went home and you answered your parents.
Right. So I want to get on to Weird Science and then eventually Johnny Be Good. But
right.
Here, you're not wrong. Now, because of where I live as opposed to where my ex-wife lives, we're across towns, right? We're in the same town, just on two opposite sides.
Yep.
So he can't get on the bus here.
Right.
So I got to drive him. Now, when we went to school, maybe 10 people got driven to school. There was never a huge line of cars dropping people off.
Not really.
The line is all the way out past Cantine Field now. All the way down the long road. Now, if you remember correctly, we didn't have that road, that access road that went next to the soccer field and all that. That wasn't there.
There was one road in, one road out.
It was the same road.
Right.
Which is now the exit, which is 2 lanes all the way out. So I'm talking the entire front of the school, down past the auditorium, through the parking lot, up that road, all the way down that road past the soccer field, which is 100 yards long, all the way another 100 yards to Cantine, out onto Washington Avenue.
It's all drop-offs?
Is how long the line was to drop their kids off at school. It is bananas to me that you pay all these taxes and have these buses and transportation and all this stuff, and people refuse to you're making kids are late to school, and why are they late to school? Well, because mom doesn't get them there on time.
Right. Take the fucking bus.
Take the bus. You're going to be there on time.
Right. When we grew up, and even when both of my boys, more so Christopher, because Max wasn't driving then, but we took the bus until we got our license, and then you drove.
That was it.
I only drove to school the last 2 months of junior year and all of senior year.
Right.
Every other time
I did from October of our junior year on.
Every other time was your ass rode the bus.
Absolutely.
And if you weren't...
And if you got your car taken, guess what? You rode the bus.
The fucking bus.
Right.
Or, I was the caravan guy. I would pick up 5 or 6 people on the way to school.
Right, but your parents did not get out of bed and drive your ass to school.
No. And it's funny because as much as I'm known now for being the fucking guy that's late or just on time, back then you were on time. If I pull up your driveway and you were fucking standing outside,
I'm moving on.
See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. So then so we get through that, and I meant to say that. I've been meaning to say that, because I dropped him off. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man! What happened?
That's crazy to me.
Being on time. I want to make sure he's there in class 10 minutes early.
Sure.
I'm like, where are all these cars? What's going on here?
Dude, even when I was living way the fuck out in Rosendale.
Right.
And dropping him off.
You drop Max and then Jern and some, you'd pick him up on the
Saugerties.
way. Yeah.
I was leaving the house at 6:35.
Right.
To make sure I got to your house to get them to the school on time.
So I drop them off. As I'm leaving, there's still cars pouring in. And now it's the bell's getting ready to ring.
Right.
Who's at fault here? And this is every Friday. So you can't tell me that this is a one-off thing that the kid missed the bus and you had to drive him. You're driving your kids to school. You're enabling them to stay in bed late. And then you're the same people that are on social media. This is bullshit, these kids today. No, you were creating the problem.
Right. And the converse of that, the other side of that coin, school district, no marbles.
Yeah, no marbles.
Hold the kids accountable.
Right.
Because the kid's going to say, wait a minute, I'm not driving that fucking car.
Right.
It's my parents. And now now the principal or the teacher or somebody's got to call the parents and say, yo, you're hurting your child.
Yeah.
Get your fucking kid here to school on time or let him take the bus.
Yep. So then after that, so anyway, we skip on from that. We go to Weird Science. Weird Science, he was cracking up. He got it.
Yeah.
And then we finished up, obviously, with the Anthony Michael Hall thing with the Johnny Be Good.
Right.
And now he's seen it. He didn't see it, but like he remembers me watching the movie years ago. And now he sees it from a different standpoint because he's he's an athlete. And I said, well, what school would you have picked? He goes, Old Tex. That lady was hot.
80s, we had some absolute smoke shows
We did.
in 80s movies.
We did.
They all haven't aged well.
Well,
back then they were bad.
Well, even Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science.
That's what got me thinking
Smoke
about it.
show.
Yeah. And you had the Girl Next Door smoke show.
Molly Ringwald's still hot, though.
Super hot. But the Girl Next Door smoke show was Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Her.
Yeah, fuck. We're gonna get blasted for knowing the name. But either like
Allie.
Yeah, Allie. But even like Leah Thompson, it was the Girl Next Doors up to the Kelly LeBrocks and Kelly McGillis and Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
There was always a smoke show in an 80s comedy. Think about those movies and how you probably couldn't put them out today.
Right.
Can you imagine fucking Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds in the theater today? Or as produced back in 1980, whatever? I don't think they'd fly. Elizabeth Shue. I don't think they'd fly. All these fucking organizations would be going fucking nuts. Especially with like Revenge of the Nerds with Omar running with the fucking javelin. That shit would not fly today. And it's a goddamn shame because they're funny as fuck.
Yeah, and it's just people are too fucking sensitive.
Too uptight. Everything. Relax.
Right.
Fucking relax.
Chill the fuck out. Well, this whole thing with him and I watching these movies cycled back to 2 weeks ago when he was here and we watched Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, it's
which was John Cusack going back to the 80s. And he's
right.
like, well, what was this? Because he was going to his first day of ski club.
Yep.
And I'm like, you don't understand, dude. Everybody has, like, their style. Skiing is like a style. Like, these people have their style. So we're watching that, and the guy's like, I got tons of girlfriends, hot ones. And the guy goes, you got boyfriends, gay ones. And that's what started it.
That's fucking awesome.
And then it spun onto that. So anyway, it was a good weekend of getting them in the John Hughes films.
There are other 80s skiing movies too. Ski Patrol.
Oh yeah, Hot Dog.
Oh my god, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go into the 90s, it wasn't a comedy, but K2 was huge.
Yeah, huge
fucking movie.
Yep.
So you guys got some weekends full of movies to watch.
Yeah, we do.
Good stuff.
Didn't you want to bring up some weird phenomenon that happened?
Yeah, it's totally weird. It happens once every, 7, 8 years, apparently.
Yeah.
This time of year, usually mid-January, it's from the city, the tri-state area, up through the Hudson Valley, where late on a Saturday evening, you get really, really loud crickets.
Like, super loud.
Super loud crickets. That's all you can hear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Because you hear a lot of chirping.
Right.
Weeks leading up.
But then it's just crickets.
Yeah.
And what is that? The fucking New York Giants.
Yeah. Last week, the guy was Joe Montana. And this week, they should never give him a contract again.
It was Joe Montana.
You know what I mean? Like, I saw it yesterday. When it's like 28-0 and a half. And you know this. I've said this numerous times privately.
Right.
I don't hate the Giants. I hate their fucking fans.
Right.
It's so dumb. They were anointing that guy king last week, and at halftime, this guy sucks. He's overrated. The same people that said, pay the man. He's great. He's the future of the team. He's got nobody. Look what he's doing. Or the guys last night that were absolutely smashing him on Facebook.
And honestly, I more align myself with the guys from last week. Listen, he's got absolutely no talent in that receiving corps.
Right.
And if I'm a coach, I'm going to fucking stack the box. I'm going to shut down the run game, and I'm going to make you throw to a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
That can't get open. And we're going to pin our ears back and just come after you.
And when they do get open, Richie James, late in the game, wide the fuck open on a blown coverage, drop.
Yep.
So, I'm not
I hear you, bud.
I know Chris is not a huge Daniel Jones guy, and I personally would want him on the Jets, but the guy's better than his own fans give him credit for.
Yeah. Well, we've lived through this.
Right.
They hated fucking Eli.
Yeah.
Eli wins the Super Bowl. He's the greatest quarterback ever.
Oh, don't forget they
And
hated Kerry Collins before
in
that.
between the two Super Bowls, we got to get rid of him. He sucks. Move on.
Right.
Guy's terrible. And then he wins another one.
They jerked off Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler for years.
Yep.
And they've never liked a quarterback since then.
Yeah, I think Phil Simms is one of the most overrated. There was nothing super special about him.
19-21 in the Super Bowl. That's Phil Simms' career.
Well, listen, that's a don't fuck this up quarterback.
Right.
Not that I'm not saying that he wasn't accurate.
No.
So that they relied on a strong running game and a great defense, and Phil Simms did just enough to get you where you needed to be.
They had a top 5 all-time defense. If you can't win with that, with a don't fuck it up offense, you're never going to win.
I'm not banging on the Giants. I'm banging on the fans
right.
that last night all of a sudden hated the guy. Right. That if you went back a week ago, they loved him. And I smashed Dak before the game last week.
Oh, you were killing me. You were getting all your fucks out beforehand.
I said, yeah. I just said,
Dak, fuck Dak.
No, I just said effing Dak. And here's the thing. He just drives me nuts because he's got the talent.
Right.
But when he plays over his head and just starts airmailing shit, like I'm sure Buffalo Bills fans probably feel that way about Josh Allen at times.
In ways, yeah. I've watched it in the playoffs. Not this year, but last year.
No, even in that Miami game, he started doing some crazy shit. And it's like, when you have the talent, I always say, I don't think Dak sees the whole field. And when he does see the whole field, he plays like he did last week.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when he doesn't see the whole field, he throws pretty much 11 interceptions in 7 games.
It's funny when you look at guys like Dak, you look at guys like Allen, Favre back in the day. It's almost they get away from doing the stuff that makes them the great players they are. They're trying to get too cute and too fucking fancy.
It's almost like they're like A-Rod in baseball. They press too hard and try to carry the whole team. You got to spread it out, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I think what makes Burrow really good is because Burrow knows he can do all that stuff, but he lets his playmakers make plays.
Right. The kid's a
instead of trying to force shit that you don't necessarily need to force.
Yep.
You know? Oh, well. We don't want to get all sidetracked before that. We've been doing good.
No.
Let's hop into this week's top five celebrity death pool 2023.
Oof, boy. This is a yearly thing. It's a website. It's not called the death pool or Deadpool. There's a website out there that every year does their top 25. And I think their best year, which is horrible to say best year, they got like 16 right out of the 25. I think last year I read it, there was like 6 or 8. But, yeah, there's no other way to get into this, so fuck it. I'll start it. Number 5, unfortunately, Steve Mongo McMichael.
Oh, he is. That's an any day thing.
He is fighting a fucking losing battle as valiantly as he can. 65 years old, in stages of ALS. Anybody who knows football remembers this man was a fucking warrior on one of the best teams.
85 Bears.
85 Bears. And then forwarding out into pro wrestling was a 4 Horsemen. They said that whatever he lacked as an actual wrestler, they said Ric Flair had trouble keeping up with Mongo.
Yeah.
That says a lot about what this dude was. The man's man. He was a partier.
Right.
He was a blast to be around. And he's still fighting.
That's your number 5?
That's my number 5, Mongo.
All right, my number 5. Bam Margera, Jackass, MTV, Viva La Bam.
Did you see last week Hulk Hogan tweeted, "Man, I miss my boy Bam. I wish he was still around so we could have more good times together." And then Bam tweets, "Hey buddy, I'm still alive."
Yeah, but a lot of people probably think he's right there next to being dead. Like,
right.
He's so into. Unfortunately, I think it may not be like of natural causes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Either an overdose or a suicide type thing.
if you've heard him speak,
Wet brain.
makes Nick Diaz seem like fucking James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And Nick Diaz is shot.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Number 4, the Beetle Killer herself, Yoko Ono.
Have you seen the meme that came out this week with Chuck Berry when Yoko Ono starts screaming in the middle of a live performance and his eyes are like...
No.
I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, she's 90 this year. And
this is going to sound terrible, and our feet might get very, very hot right now. Do you think there will be a pretty big round of applause when that happens?
There will be a big, groundswell from Beatles fans saying, fuck you.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Number 4, Andrew Tate, social media superstar. I have a feeling people are trying, they got him on some kind of trafficking charges, which he beat like pretty quickly. He got right out of jail, but when certain people don't like you,
right,
they come after you, and suddenly you find yourself, Epstein somewhere.
Hanging in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe not a jail cell, just in general.
Right.
Car crash, some weird shit. They get to you.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Number 3, 101 years old, absolute icon in the entertainment industry. Just age is going to catch up with the man, Norman Lear.
He is higher on my list, so just hold on.
Okay.
Number 3, former President Jimmy Carter he's 99 years old, 98. He'll turn 99 this year. He keeps moving, but age.
Right.
And age is, time is undefeated.
He
was president when we were born, probably.
It was him or Ford, yeah. People knocked Carter, that he was a hillbilly, he wasn't that smart. Tell you what, he is a fucking Mensa member next to our current guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he did have his brother Billy, who, during a press conference, Jimmy Carter is speaking, and Billy is pissing on a fence behind him.
He is a hillbilly.
And he put out Billy Beer. So,
yeah.
My number 2, Disney's latest Zorro, Michael J. Fox. Yeah, this is where the flames were going to catch me.
I picked my feet right up off the floor when you said that. I don't know if he's that bad yet.
I did look, and this is from an interview he did. He's at the stage now with his Parkinson's where he's having a lot of, and if you've seen him in an interview, it was
someone he hugged on that stage.
Yes, with
Christopher
Lloyd. He's fallen a lot in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And he's constantly breaking stuff. And he's well aware of it. Like he says, he's wearing things now to make sure that he doesn't, because the next fall could be the bad one.
Yeah, it's crazy when you're ill.
Right.
How a fall, or even elderly, a fall is what kills you.
Well, if you remember, Catfish Hunter had ALS. He didn't die from ALS. He died because
he fell
outside of his house and he had no control of his arms. He fell and face planted, and that was that.
Oof.
Yeah.
My number 2, Norman Lear, All in the Family. He's a substantial TV writer and director, and he's got a book of credentials yay long. You know what I mean? So yeah, again, age. And I saw him when they did the live shows a couple years ago on ABC with Jimmy Kimmel.
Looking frail. Yeah.
Looked like you could see through him then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My number 1, the price is eventually going to be wrong.
We got the same number 1.
Bob
we
Barker.
were talking about Bob Barker.
100 years old.
100 years old. Yeah, the price is wrong, bitch. I would say,
when he does go, they should play wah, wah, wah.
No. They should do the Plinko. Where's he going?
Oh, we say this some in jest. It is what it is.
We all grew up with Bob Barker.
We did.
He was our 11 a.m. babysitter.
He was our 11 a.m. sick home from school
babysitter.
You're absolutely right. As we record this, I don't know what time it was today. The official ceremony at Graceland.
Oh, for
Lisa Marie. They laid her to rest earlier in the week.
I saw it this morning. I saw a live video of it this morning.
Yeah. They did it earlier this week. They actually had to move. Like I said, got to get there this year. The original plots were all in ground, and they had a mausoleum above ground for her son that they actually had to adjust so they could put Lisa
in there with him?
Adjacent from her father.
Oh, okay.
So, Yep, I'm gonna try to catch some footage later on when I get home, and yeah,
So that's our celebrity death pool.
that's our death pool.
We had two of the same in the top three,
Right.
and then you got to figure like some younger ish
Always like
people.
yeah, you had the
Bam Majera
yeah.
and Tate.
Bam's gotta be what, our age?
Yeah, Bam's 45 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't abuse yourself the way you did for 20 years and not pay for it.
Unless you're one of the Rolling Stones.
Or Jake Roberts.
Yeah, it's weird how it works. All right, let's move on to this week's. All right, this week's crazy questions via Gmac because Winnie got a special detail that he has to do. So, all right, number one, given a chance to party with no repercussions, do you go out with 88 Mike Tyson or mid 2000s Charlie Sheen?
Wow.
Like if you're banging chicks, you don't got to work because AIDS was prevalent in the 80s,
Right.
but you have no repercussions. You come away from it clean, everything's good.
Just because
You know there's cocaine flowing with both.
Right. Right. I don't need to smoke a fucking softball sized piece of crack. I'm going with Tyson, man.
Going Tyson
Yeah.
88.
That's more
You're not gonna get the shit beat out of you.
right, and we love the 80s.
Right.
And as much as I do like Charlie Sheen, I think 88 Mike Tyson would be a fucking trip. You may see somebody get knocked the fuck
Yeah, I think
out.
the women were probably hotter with Sheen though.
Could have been.
You know.
That or of danger.
I think you got a bigger chance of getting hurt with Mike Tyson.
You might.
You know.
You might, but that's our era.
So not fighting yourself with Tyson. You're just part of the entourage that gets in a fight.
Right. Mitch Green shows up and gets knocked out again.
Yeah. All right, number two. You got $100 in your pocket and you need every cent of it to get home. You're starving and you see a farm stand and a McDonald's dumpster. What do you do?
Oh God. A farm stand or a McDonald's dumpster. I'm going with a farm stand.
But you can't spend money at the farm stand. You have none. So that means you're either going to steal from the farm stand or you're going to eat some burgers that they threw away.
I'm stealing from the farm stand. Sorry.
Really?
Can't eat out of a dumpster.
Do you leave a note?
Yes. With my name, address, and phone number. I'll be that guy.
Okay. It's just one of them dilemmas you put it.
Yeah,
like, what do you do?
I'm doing that. I can't.
Well, at the end of the night, at like McDonald's, they have to throw out all this food that they cooked.
Right. Unless you happen to be there.
And they're dumping it in the
as
thing?
they're fucking going to place the bag and going, yo. No, it's going to be the farm stand.
Okay. All right. Number three, you have 6 bullets in your gun. Only 6. Hitler, Charles Manson, Vladimir Putin, Saddam Hussein, Fidel Castro, Stalin, and a baby raper are standing there. Who lives?
Okay, run that again. Run that back.
6 bullets in the gun.
Yep.
You got 7 people standing there.
Okay.
Hitler, Manson, Putin, Saddam Hussein, Fidel Castro, Stalin, and a baby raper.
Who lives?
Who lives? Who do you? There's only a bullet for each except one. Who do you not put the bullet in?
Manson.
Really?
Yeah. You got to be weak in mind. You got to be of the weak mind to buy into his bullshit.
Yeah, but people did.
They did. But these other people actually had the ability to take on the world, and almost did. And I'm not letting baby raper live. So.
Okay, no, good choice,
Yeah.
Manson. And then you just fucking kill Manson with your bare hands.
Later on, yeah, he's fucking 5 foot.
Oh, look, I'm out of bullets, and then I just bludgeon him with the gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck him. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Number 4, coffee all of a sudden ceases to exist.
Okay.
It just gone. Given the choice between kombucha or Shaka mango hibiscus tea, what's your new drink of
Oh,
choice?
motherfucker. Oh, man. I guess because of the health benefits, I'll learn to like kombucha.
Yeah?
Yeah, that tea was that fucking terrible.
Well, kombucha was that terrible for you, too.
Yeah, but there's different flavors at least.
Yeah.
You can get different flavors of kombucha. You can only get one flavor of that fucking tea, and never again will I drink it.
And what it tastes like again?
Like 1,000 bees stung my tongue with their pollen-covered dicks.
All right, number 5. I develop severe depression and become emotionally flat, not happy and not sad. Over the next few years, right? I'm just not me. There's no emotion, there's no range, there's no feelings, there's no nothing. Could you maintain the friendship, and does the Outlaw Blitz survive?
Yes, I can maintain the friendship. No, it does not survive. Because you've got to be a motivated George is what makes this go. We've had times where we almost didn't do it anymore. And then we got back into it, and we've had growth, and we continue to have growth, and we're motivated to do it. But, yeah, I would never not be your friend. And so that...
Yeah, the reason this question even came up is I just saw it, like, questions you ask. And if there's anything that's me, is I'm an emotional fucking person.
You are.
Whether it's anger, happy, say whatever, it's just all
right.
I couldn't imagine just being emotionally flat.
I couldn't see you being
like
that
where
way
somebody's
at all.
just completely flat. And people will say, "Oh, take a pill for that." I can't because I run like that.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine just being
straight.
It would.
Every day.
Wouldn't. Yeah.
No.
I know this wouldn't survive.
No.
Because how do you do it?
You have to be able. Listen.
Bueller.
Right.
Anyone.
Listen, and there's been there's been days where you haven't wanted to record.
Yeah.
Or I haven't wanted to record, but you got to fucking fake it to make it sometimes to get through it. If you legitimately don't have emotion,
right,
you're not faking anything because you don't have it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I really hope that never happens.
Yeah, knock on this table.
Yeah.
As our fucking springs are.
All right, that wasn't a bad top five crazies.
To get you out of it, I would start with Amy James and a Tupperware container. We almost fucking died in a rainstorm because of that.
Yeah.
That's how hard we were laughing.
We were laughing so hard we were going across like 3 lanes of traffic.
Oh, it was bad. That was the North Way going up to Union.
That's a great story someday.
Yes, that's an excellent story.
That's a good podcast story too.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Now is your time to shine.
Oh,
Stately definitions, Hudson Valley edition.
Hudson Valley edition. These normally they're pretty condensed, so I screen cap them and I go through. These I could not.
Okay.
Number 1, good old Saugerties. We'll start off with friendly Saugerties. Small township in Ulster County, New York, affectionately referred to by the locals as a shithole in other endearing terms. That's changed over time.
Yeah.
The inhabitants have a number of discerning qualities that don't really make them stick out for most small American towns, but are worth noting in any case. Number 1, Saugertesians have an uncanny knack for being anally conformist. Indeed, the general population can be divided into 7 groups. Chavs, which I have no fucking idea what that is. Aging hipsters, scene kids, hicks, teeny bopping harlots, more aging hipsters, and roughly normal people who just can't wait to get out. Large percentage of the nonconformists wear the same clothing and tell the same jokes as all the other rebels because it's common knowledge that one must quote Charlie the Unicorn and shop at Hot Topic if one really wants to be different.
Are you still on Saugerties?
I am.
Okay.
This is what fucking got me. Number 2, they're also infectiously stupid. Example, come check out our brand new track at the high school. Built to semi-obsolete specs. Now we're stuck with it for 50 years. Cheers. That fucking nailed
Somebody
it.
nailed it, yeah.
Nailed it.
So a chav is a young person or type characterized by coarse and brash behavior.
Okay.
And it also says, no, it doesn't because it disappeared. All right.
So it goes back to what people looks, wearing anything from Hot Topic and do-rags, pertaining to a chavish look or manner, despite the fact that chavs are a British pestilence. Thick layers of makeup of ladies, resulting in the look of a geisha dancer. T-shirts fronting obscure bands that nobody's ever heard of, or with ironic slogans that were funny a decade ago. Clouds of spray-on deodorant that you could smell a mile off, but fail to conceal the reek of cannabis.
You think this was like late 80s,
Early 90s, early 90s ish. But
Yeah.
the fact that
when Main Street was a dump.
right, the fact that they got
Partition.
the fucking track on there,
Yeah, that's
was
the best.
great. They also mentioned the car show.
Yep.
And yeah, that was the track had it for me.
All right.
So number 2, Kingston, New York. A small adverse city in the Hudson Valley, largely known for having Billy Costello, a tiny shopping mall, which unbeknownstly is in the shape of a swastika, fancy pubs, bars, and eateries, riddled with late-night middle-aged alcoholics. Let's not forget the most ghetto school system in Ulster County. A mild hope for Cityites and Jersey tourists during certain seasons, Kingston is domestically described as the turd sandwich, lightly garnished in a minstrel blood with human fecal matter.
The mall's the shape of a swastika?
It is. If you
Is
look
it
at
really?
it above, it is. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
That can't be true.
It's true. You got to look at it from above. You're going to see Penny's shoots. So if you're looking at above, Sears goes that way, Penny's goes that way, then there's that line straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Then the other way, fucking Target goes that way, and Filene's went that way.
Yeah.
It was a fucking swastika. So that's Kingston.
Okay.
Now we go on to Red Hook, a small upstate New York town that spreads from Elizaville to Dutchess County Fairgrounds. Exceptional school system, but over half the students are usually baked. There's usually not much to do except eat at the historic diner Village Pizza 3, go to the shitty little skate park, or go to Barge College and annoy all the college students who are misunderstood. Town itself has an unusually high population of snowboarders, considering it is a flat, urban, spotless farming community. It has incredibly hot summers, brutally cold winters, but not more than 3 or 4 feet of snow annually. They're pretty pretentious. We don't like them.
No, we do not.
Number 4, Ellenville.
Oh boy.
A village in the bumfuck of nowhere in upstate New York. Despite its small size and rural outlook.
Yes, it does look like a swastika. Holy shit.
Right?
Wow.
So despite its small size and rural
They actually painted one of the roofs a different color so it does not stand out like crystal clearly.
A swastika.
Yes.
So Ellenville is the village is riddled with crime, not limited to theft and even assault. Yes, it is. Holy shit. Most of the native inhabitants of Ellenville have a less than desirable IQ due to the inbreeding and large number of high school dropouts. Also seems to be a number of ex-convicts who live in the town. Drugs are ubiquitous and the job market is scarce. There's really nothing positive about this village. And it is in the armpit of the Shawangunk Ridge. Avoid this place.
Is that why they call it Felonville?
I haven't heard that.
Felonville.
That's pretty good. So, yeah, it is a fucking dope. We have Catskill, which is a place where all hosts, sluts, druggies, and fuckboys originate.
They got some square heads up there, bro.
They have some big heads up there. Then it goes on about the mountain range, but this is a good one. The Catskill Blackbeard.
Okay.
When a man dips his scrotum into a coffee mug filled with warm elderberry syrup for medicinal purposes, he's often wearing a t-shirt with no pants. The scrotum must be submerged for at least an hour to achieve any kind of benefit. The Catskill Blackbeard.
Into elderberry what?
Warm elderberry syrup in a coffee mug.
The Catskill Blackbeard.
Yes. And Newburgh.
Oh, boy.
City in upstate, downstate, depends on your point of view. New York and the USA. Way tougher than pussy old Poughkeepsie. Take a midnight stroll down Chambers Street and tell me I'm wrong. There's way better views of the Hudson River, too. Connected beacon to beacon by the Hamilton Fish Bridge. The main school is NFA or Newburgh Free Academy or No Fun Allowed. The last one was not a joke. The school mascot is a goldback type of eagle, and the main rival is Kingston. Ironically, it was a very big city about 75 years ago. It was the first American city to have electricity. Their Broadway is one of the widest streets in America. One of the first cities to fluoridate its water supply. One of the test markets for the first televisions, and once the location of George Washington's encampment.
Well, Kingston was once the capital of New York State.
It was.
They got burned by the Brits.
It sure did, and they celebrate that every year.
And we have 5. It's the only place in America with 5 corners with houses from the original. Right?
Oh, that's right. Right uptown. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not a complete dump, just like 94%.
Not the whole thing.
Just a good majority.
Just all of this and not a little spot right there.
In our fucking severely German mall that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
well, it's there in building only. Now it's not a swastika because they cut that section out.
No, it's still there. That's what they changed the roof color of.
Oh, no shit. So
yeah.
It's totally a swastika.
It's still the same thing. They just cut out one little hallway.
Wall. That's right, they did.
Yeah.
All right, so
wow,
they trashed the Hudson Valley a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I get into...
well, you had the Ellenville burglar alarm years ago. The various cars and junk in the front yard.
That's right. That you fucking kick and knock into as you're trying to break into a place.
Yeah. Sounds like a wind chime going off. Clang, ching.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I can't believe there wasn't a New Paltz on there.
Oh, a.k.a. for Newburgh, the 6th borough, the Burg, Boringsville, and Retardsville. Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Here we go.
I'm going to get some elderberry syrup.
This week's over and under. Number 1, air fresheners.
Oh, way underrated.
Whether they be in a car.
Almost fucking necessary at times.
Yeah, there's certain places like you just can't get the damp, dank smell out of.
Right. Your stairwell always smells phenomenal. Coming up here.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm being serious.
That's because I put the can
plug in there.
Oh, up at the top.
Yeah.
Of the stairs. Yeah. It could go from Tommy Chong to fucking Bora Bora. Because I did, yeah. But I put one down at the bottom of the stairs to try and knock out the Cheech Chong, Snoop, and Willie Nelson effect downstairs.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Happens, man. It's part of life, So, yeah, I'm all about air fresheners, keeping certain places. But they can also be overrated. Like some place you go in and people have so many of them, you get a fucking headache.
Well, and there's smells that, to me, are fucking so off-putting. Like, I cannot stand
vanilla,
patchouli.
Oh yeah,
makes you get dirty armpits and the Woodstock green.
I was just gonna say, reminds me of the green and Woodstock.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, number 2, paper towels.
So underrated, and you rarely have them when you need them.
Yeah. Yep. I'm a big paper towel person. Like, I'd rather blow my nose in a paper towel than a tissue.
Depends.
It always feels like the tissue's gonna break.
But if you're like 4 days into that,
no,
you want to be blown into like silk.
No, I just want to because your nose is so on fire.
I saw a TikTok last night where
you're just blowing your nose in a bowl of water.
The parent literally had the kid in a headlock.
Yep.
And had one of them fucking things where you squeeze the water to flush it.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a fucking snot rocket about 6 inches long coming out the kid's other nostril. It was awesome.
Like he forced it up in there.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever used one?
Yeah.
They work.
They do. Like I got a neti pot. I'd use that. You pour it in one nostril, goes up, and
Yeah.
then it comes out the other side.
Yeah.
And if you lean back too far, you're just getting waterboarded.
Oh, straight up.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
If you only have a limited supply of deer piss, use the neti pot.
All right, number 3, hot/cold packs.
Overrated. They never last long enough.
Until you get a fucking toothache like I have, and then you're underrated because you just want something on your face.
The old good old bag of frozen peas. When I have
I don't want anything cold near my face right now. I want something warm.
Yeah.
Because my fucking tooth hurts so bad.
When I have my nuts clipped.
Yeah. You sat on a bag of peas.
Boy.
Oh, dude.
And then you put it back in the freezer to get them hard again to reuse them. But make sure when you cook that the bag that looks all super crinkly
is thrown out.
Don't use them. Yeah. You don't want them.
Yeah. It's got this big seam in it right here.
The writing's half gone.
Because you used it over and over again for that week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Remember the story about when I got clipped?
Yep.
It was your mother-in-law and Christopher. When I had to go back and bring the sample in.
Yeah.
I go to bring it in, and I got the keys to the car, and they're like, "Hey, George," they were coming out of CVS at the time. Was over there.
Oh my god!
I'm like, "Hey guys," and I had an entire cup full of it.
Piss?
No.
Oh. You know, I never went back and did that.
Yeah, that's probably not good. Bro.
Yeah, but I've fired so many off since then, and never knocked anybody else up. So, knock on wood.
Twice today. Yeah. All right, number 4, eye makeup.
Wow. Can be extremely overrated if not worn properly.
Correct.
If it's understated, it's perfect.
A mild version, highly underrated with certain people.
Yeah.
Like old Dud.
Yeah.
Love her. Phenomenal eyes with nothing on, but if she puts stuff on her eyes, crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just through time.
Right.
You know, certain people wear it, certain people overdo it. You see people that do like cat shit. I'm not all about that.
Yeah, no.
Or like Mimi on fucking Drew Carey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
With seriously bright blue or colors that are just not natural.
Yeah, right. Or when people, I don't like that when they do the white.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like it's all white or something.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Like, did you use fucking
right.
the nose burn?
Right.
Stuff?
Did your cocaine bag blow up on your face? Like what happened here? Or did you get a tan and forget the tan around your eyes?
Yeah. I guess I want to say overrated unless used properly.
Mildly. Yeah, I agree.
Less is way more.
Correct. And number 5, Captain Crunch cereal.
Super overrated.
Overrated.
Fucking A.
No way. Underrated.
Bro, it feels like I chewed on 13 packs of old razor blades.
Yeah, it definitely fucks up your roof of your mouth.
Horrible.
But it has the most phenomenal, weird taste ever. Explain the taste. You can't say it's corn.
No.
Like,
it's a little buttery. It's a little sweet.
But what? What is it?
I don't know. It's got
like cinnamon toast tastes like cinnamon toast crunch.
Right.
Honey Nut Cheerios taste like wheat and honey.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Apple Jacks taste like apples.
See, I love
cinnamon.
I love Grape Nuts, which takes like 47 minutes to eat a fucking 4-ounce bowl.
Crunch.
Right. But I shouldn't need to get skin grafted after I eat the cereal. And I think with Captain Crunch, it's almost there.
I love Captain Crunch.
Oh, God bless you.
Absolutely love it.
Better man than I am.
Yeah. So there's our over-under for the week. Not bad.
No, not at all.
Do you have any rabbit holes or anything?
It wasn't really a rabbit hole week. I got into a lot of... Actually, I did a lot of investigative rabbit holing on YouTube. I would type in things to do in Memphis.
Yep.
Where to stay in Memphis. There's a guy that opened the...
Walking in Memphis.
Yeah, that video came up too. There was a guy down there that opened up a museum for the karate dojo.
Yep.
To honor Kang Ree, who was Elvis's karate master. But he's a local guy, so he went through and basically the perfect video for me. Where to stay around Graceland, where not to stay. Which helped me get onto the travel things and start planning. So yeah,
good.
I did some Memphis rabbit hole this week.
Good, that's good. I'm glad to hear, man. Kind of plan out your trip and your future there.
It is a turd hole. It is.
I'm sure it is, but I bet you they got like good. Well, you could do a dual purpose. Obviously, you're going for Graceland, but when you want to go and see like Lawler's place.
Yeah, Beale Street is definitely going to be on the list of things to
And
do.
like old Memphis wrestling, the arenas or whatever.
If the Mid South is torn down now, Mid South
Oh, is
Coliseum,
it?
the Pyramid, which was built way later for like the Grizzlies used it. Okay, I think it was built in the '90s. Is now the world's largest Bass Pro Shops,
Oh, okay.
and I think there's a hotel in there as well. So there's definitely stuff to see outside of the Graceland area, but it's like see Graceland and fucking motor your ass through Whitehaven, South Haven, and North Haven because they are all shit.
Get some barbecue though.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And there and it's again, you ask the locals and there's like 3 or 4 main spots, and depending upon who you talk to, they got the best.
Right.
But I think you're in the deep south. It's all got to be good for us.
Yeah, I mean, but you ever, and I'm sure you've done this, and we could do it at Cape Cod, where people go and they get all like the commercialized version of it,
Right.
and that's not what you want.
You want the
No, you want like the authentic spot.
right
Like you want to go to Clancy's at Cape Cod. You don't want to go to the British Beer Company, which is basically
a chain.
a chain.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm sure that happens at Memphis too.
Oh yeah. When we go to the Cape, and I didn't do this until didn't go to any of these spots until Carly and I got together. Um, what the hell is the one? It's like all the little outskirt seafood stands where you go for your fish fries and stuff like that. You good?
Where's this music playing from?
I don't. I can faintly hear it.
Alexa, turn off.
That's funny.
Somehow,
We must have
in the
said
middle of what
something.
we said, it got somewhat close.
That's funny.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, where's this music coming from?
Yeah, there's a couple seafood places like they're like those seafood stands that are on the outskirts of the beaches.
Yeah.
Kate's is one. Captain Frosty
Yeah.
is another one, and that's like you ask the locals which one is the best, and they all swear by one.
Right. How many
But they're
people
all
would
good.
drive by Salty's?
Right.
And it's probably like one of the best spots on the
Salty's is
Cape.
great.
Yeah.
Salty's is fucking awesome. Cream and cone.
Right.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm with you. When you're in these places and and it's the only place you have the opportunity, eat local.
Right. But a lot of people will be like, if you ask the locals, they'll say, no, don't go to the captain's table. Go to, Highland's place.
Right.
Captain's table is what everybody says. That's the tourist trap stuff.
Right.
That's not really the good stuff. The good
Right.
stuff's over at Highlands.
Yep.
And
when we go to these places, there's no indoor seating.
right.
It's all you stand at the window, place your order, slide down to the next window, pick up your order, and there's a few picnic tables around, or you take the stuff back to wherever you're staying.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you, and especially with beer. That's how I really started getting into micro brews was through Cape Cod beer.
Right.
Excuse me, I wasn't a big beer guy back then. I mean, we drank the Bud Light Lime, but until the Bud Light Lime years, I never really got into beer until I started going to Cape Cod, and it was
Really?
fucking opened my world up. Yeah.
Oh, then it was bleach blonde.
Yep. Now it's there.
I remember coming back with many a growler for you.
Hell yes, the IPAs now, and all the other locals that have you drink your blueberry beer up there when you go to the Skipper.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
It's only at the Skipper too.
right.
Yep.
So
Oh, it's enjoyable, man. I'm glad you got that research in, and you made me realize I miss Cape Cod. And this will be the second year I'm not going.
That's right. Well, you got something big that you cannot not do.
Yeah, no, I got an entire Europe trip going on.
And it's not to say that on a nice fall weekend
Oh, it's not to say that
or a late
a
summer
long weekend in
right.
earlier part of late June I can't go up and catch.
It's realistically it's 3.5 to 4 hours. It's not a bad drive.
Not a bad weekend. Not a bad weekend destination.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nope. Well, I got nothing else, buddy. I don't know about you.
Nah, I mean, what's on tap for the rest of your day?
I gotta pick the kid up from ski club, drop him off, bring like today's his day. He goes back to his mom. Watch some football.
Yeah, I think
I'll
that's
only watch one. I'll probably watch half of one game, and who knows? Depending on how aggravated I am by halftime, maybe half of another game.
yeah, that's my plan too. Go home, take advantage of the opportunity to get off the old knees for a little bit. Um, like I said, they're starting to feel better. The medicine's starting to work. Watch some football, chill out, and then tomorrow's laundry day. And
I did
then,
that already this
did
morning.
you? And then
Dropped
back,
him off, went and did laundry.
then back to the grind.
Everything's kind of set, like you kind of get back into your rhythm for the week.
Yeah,
I'm adjusting to the new days off, but it's coming along.
right. I can tell you one thing about going back to these hours. My week moves so much faster.
I'm sure.
So much faster.
I'm sure.
It really does.
Until your body kind of fully catches up, and then you'll be like,
Oh, it's a dragon.
yeah, drag it in. Yeah.
But so far so good, man.
Good, man. Good. Good start to the season. We're 2 episodes in. We
Yeah.
had good responses to week 1, so feeling good about it.
Big shout out to Creating Chaos.
Yep.
Jen's hard at work doing stuff with ideas for us, and it's going to have like I said, a nice array of stuff at the show.
Cool.
So that's all I
Can't
got,
wait,
Doc.
man. That's all. That's it for me. Bring us home.
All right, for Gmac, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast, and as always, take it easy.